Friends, you are welcome to Charcha with Rajeev. Today I am going to talk about the overall situation which is emerging out of the tension on the line of actual control. In fact, the things have gone from bad to worse ever since we lost 20 soldiers in a kind of fight with the Chinese soldiers in the Galwan Valley. That was a very unfortunate incident to took place, and we can only hope that such incidents do not get repeated in the future and the peace is maintained between the two countries. I personally feel that the peace is the need of the hour. We have to grow mutually in this globalized world because the whole world is one economy. It's a barrier-free economy now, and we are very much a part of the global trade order. We cannot grow in isolation. We cannot say that we cannot have any trade relationship with a particular country. In particular, we have to have very good relationships with all our neighbors, and for that even our neighbors will have to ensure that there is no mischief on their part, and they should also very serious about having good, cordial and tradeful relationships with us. However, as our soldiers are quite competent to give befitting reply to any intrusion, any incursion, any mischief from across the border, we are now passing through an entirely different kind of situation. There is an attempt to boycott Chinese goods in almost every part of the country. As and when there is a terror attack in which terrorists from Pakistan are involved, then there is an outcry to take on Pakistan also, and there are, we have protests on the streets, and similar outbursts of emotions and anger, are witnessed quite often. But we need to ensure that, we have to go beyond all these things. We have to ensure that, emotions do not influence our decisions. These are not the emotional issues. These are the serious issues we need to talk about. We have also seen that any sense of assertion which is driven by emotion does not hold much water. If we react against a vacuum, it doesn't lead to any credible change either in the system or in our behavior or in the behavior of a nation. So we have to ensure that when we react, we must react against the realities. We must react with the sense of confidence. We should have some kind of planning. Only then we should react. I'll just give you a small example, friend, just to bring home the point what exactly I want to discuss with you today in this program, Charcha with Rajeev. It's a small example I'm going to tell you, and then you will understand wherein lies the problem. The problem is not, lies in the fact that we want to use Chinese goods. The problem lies elsewhere. There are two things which I would like to highlight here. One, it's a barrier-free trade world order of which we are very much a part. Number two, we cannot say any country don't use our market because it's a barrier-free, I repeat, trade world order. But certain precautions, certain checks and balances have to be there, and we have to see where do we stand. I went to buy a toy, and then I bought a helicopter toy from a shop in Sector 17 in Chandigarh a few years back, I think 4 years back. There was no guarantee, there was no warranty. Then it cost me around 900 rupees, and I am shocked to tell you that within 24 hours the toy got dysfunctional. It was not working. So I went back to the shopkeeper and asked him that since it's not working, you refund my money. The shopkeeper said, sorry, I cannot do that because there is no guarantee. The shopkeeper reminded me how he had explained to me that there is no guarantee on this toy, and if anything happens to the toy once I step out of the shop, the shopkeeper cannot be held responsible for that. No, I'll just give you an example. So I was totally convinced, but he tried to help me. He helped me out by getting it repaired, which also did not take place. I tried, they also tried, I also tried, but finally I gave up. So now I'll tell you how does it work. Now suppose that I just take the example of that toy. That toy came to India through proper channel. That toy was imported by a company from China. The importer imported that toy. Then there is a particular cost price for that toy which the importer pays to the exporter in China, right? Now the importer in our country further sells, this toy among the domestic distributors after making some profit. Now this toy comes to the distributor. The distributor further, sells this toy to the retailers after making some profit, right? Now it comes to the retailer, and from the retailer, we the end users buy this toy, and the retailers sell it to us by making certain profit. So now we are taking care of the profit of all the people who are involved in trading this toy, from the principal importer, and then the distributors, and then the retailers, and we are the end users. And I lost $900 within 24 hours without making the most of the toy. But we were nowhere to go. There was no mechanism where I could lodge a complaint. I asked the shopkeeper, what are the options I have as a citizen of this country? After all, I am the loser. I gave you 900 rupees, which is hard-earned money, and I couldn't use it. I couldn't use it. My children couldn't use it even for 2 days, 3 days. So I lost hard-earned $900. So whom to complain? He told me I can go anywhere, everywhere. That's it. He said, I'm helpless. This is what is the system all about. I cannot promise any kind of warranty if the product doesn't come with a warranty. So the government needs to look into it. Chinese goods, if are sold in our market, then the seller must ensure that there is an element of warranty credibility with these products. India must not be allowed to be used as a dumping ground. But before I conclude, we should have the better substitutes. We should have better replacements, affordable replacements, cheaper replacements. We should have better toys, cost-effective toys. Whatever smaller goods we buy from China, we don't have their alternatives. We don't have their replacements in our country. That's the major problem. So my dear friends, before I conclude, I have a piece of alerts. I have a piece of advice for all of us, that we should not react against a vacuum. We should react against the ground realities. Only then we can take on a powerful country like China. Otherwise, we won't be able to do anything. Our protest, our resentment won't make much difference if we don't have this stuff. We need to develop that stuff. Thank you so much for being with us. You like this Charcha, and also share the issue with your friends and relatives. Thank you so much for being with me.